Well, hi folks, meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana Weather. Thanks for logging on to my latest long-range update here. Let's talk about today. In my last video and my last blog update, I talked about the potential for a wintry system next week. That's still on the table. The models have dropped it. The GFS has dropped it. The Canadian has pretty much always held it. The Euro has been back and forth on it. Everybody's back on board with it today. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about the timing and what to expect and all that stuff. And of course, we're going to get into a little bit about what to expect this weekend. So let's start there with this weekend first. No wintry mess really to worry with this weekend. Here's future radar here. This is the high resolution NAM. This is the experimental 3-kilometer NAM. Just to give you an idea of what to expect as you wake up tomorrow morning, some showers around the area. These are going to be scattered showers, spotty showers. There's not going to be a deluge of rain. There could potentially be some light snow showers, some wet snowflakes mixing in from time to time, but as the afternoon rolls on, those will be changing over to an all rain, and really I think most of it will stay just all rain. As you can see here, it's not an all-day rain. It's just it's not a solid sheet of rain moving through here. It's just some scattered showers, and then as the afternoon and evening rolls on, you'll see those are pretty much gone. Will dry out for the most part on Sunday. High-res data here is suggesting that maybe by the time we get into Sunday afternoon late, we got some spotty showers, but the chance will be low on Sunday overall then. And it'll be Monday that looks like it'll be a little bit more of a soaker. Let's switch over here to the GFS, give you an idea of what to expect here, and then we'll get into the longer term as well. So there's the showers activity as we start off on here on Saturday morning. Rain moves through here. We get a mostly dry Sunday, but there is a chance again later in the afternoon on Sunday that we get a few showers towards the afternoon and evening hours. It's not going to be a washout by any means. The bigger chances of rain really does come on Monday and especially overnight into Monday night. By Tuesday, we'll be starting to dry out things a little bit. Still some showers around, but it'll be pushing out of the area here again. Then once we got that all out of the way, by the time next Wednesday night and Thursday rolls in, we've got a system just to our west that's going to roll in. Here's the way every model takes us just a little bit differently, but the idea is we've got some wintry mischief that we could potentially have going on here with this. And so here it is, the leading waves here of this rain. You've got a developing low pressure out to our west. You're kind of seeing some precipitation here riding along a short wave in the atmosphere. High pressure still large in our area, so the very first parts of these returns coming in here would likely be sucked up by the dry air, but the radar would fill in eventually under this idea. High pressure moves off to the east, and there you go. By the time we're on Thursday, there's some snow moving in. It would be rain down to our south here. You've got sort of a low pressure that's transferred its low here, transferring its energy here from the mountains. It's encountering the mountains and sort of saying, nope, can't deal with that. It transfers its low, or is trying to a new low that would develop down here along the Gulf Coast. There it is by the time we get into the overnight hours on Thursday night. And you notice under the GFS solution, it's been snowing all this time. Rain down here, some heavy rain potentially towards Alabama and even into the Nashville area there. That quickly moves off to the east, and by the time Friday afternoon comes. So that would be a pretty quick hitting system. It would could potentially put down some reasonable accumulations here, though, with that. In fact, the GFS model wants to put down a 2 to 4 inch swath of snow across the area. Now, keep in mind, this is way out here. We are Friday afternoon as I'm recording this, so we are about 5 to 6 days away roughly from this happening. So it's something that we'll keep an eye on, and we'll just kind of leave it at there for this point. I will say this, though, the Canadian is showing some very similar ideas. So here we go, Wednesday night. This would be about 7 o'clock. There's the leading edge of this precip. Again, you've got higher pressure over here, so the leading edge is going to be eaten up at first by dry air in the atmosphere, but that eventually is overcome. And then look at this, you've got some off and on snow showers for a little while, and you've got again a southern low. You've got this low coming in off the mountains, coming in out of the west, hitting the mountains. The mountains just sort of destroy it. It disintegrates, and its low gets its energy gets transferred to this new low down to the south. The new low down to the south moves it out, and look at this. It actually gives the potential for Kentucky to get even more snow than we do. So again, the idea of the snow in the area is there, and it does give us some snow. I don't have the snow maps pulled up for you, but the bottom line is at this point out, we can't really look for definite accumulations. What we look this far out for really is the pattern, and the specifics are going to come later. But some very good agreement here on the overall pattern. Now let's take a look here at what we would see on the Euro model. and give you sort of an idea of what's going on here, if we can get the Euro model here to cooperate with us. And of course, you know, it never wants to cooperate here and move whenever. Here we go. So there we go. We are back here into the wee hours on Wednesday night. There's the leading edge of this precipitation. It's not a nice collared map with blue for snow, but we hear deep into these blue lines. This is indicating very cold air. This is all snow as it's moving through here. So let me find my place back here, and we'll move this forward in time. As it goes on, you can see there the snow moves in, and boy, it's going painfully slow. You know, you have to love it. It was going super fast a while ago until I hit the record button, and then it decides to move slow. You have to love technology. As you go through here, though, you see a pretty good little amount of snow, and for a decent little time moving in. Here we are here into the Friday afternoon hours before that starts to dry up here. But look at this. You've got the low that's developed down to our south, and by the time you get here onto Saturday, come on, you can do it. You really can. There we go. By the time this low starts to mature a little bit down here on Saturday, you notice it's still got some snow over us. And so the Euro model would make it snow Thursday, Friday, and even into Saturday for us. And look at this. You've got a pretty decent little system down here in Kentucky. Actually, I don't have the snow maps pulled up, but the snow maps would give about an inch, about a foot in some places of accumulation here between sleet and snow. Now again, some of that may fall asleep. The further south you get, you're going to fight that. This at the moment with all of these models would be no ice concerns at all. For us, it would just be all snow because of the air temperatures that are there. So here's the bottom line that we have to look at. We have to say, well, are these right? Are there any support beyond this? These are all the operational models, the deterministic models, if you will. What do the ensembles show? Well, let me just show you this from the GFS ensembles. Does it support a system? Yeah, it does. The GFS ensembles supporting a pretty good with the system here. So let me change the color of my icon here, and notice. Let me just circle for you the icons here, the ones here that have a good idea of the snow. Well, take a look at this. Here we are in Indiana right here, and there's a pretty hefty little storm system there. That looks more of a heftier system for the southern parts of Kentucky, but it's still there. Decent little system here on this one. Very heavy system on this one for us. It's in our region there, although it's a little bit further to the south in Kentucky. Same here with a story for that. Couple 3 inches or more here for that. Yeah, there's more snow for that. There's a decent little storm system for Kentucky, some minor for us. Same way with this. This one's kind of a mixed bag. There's some snow right along the river. Here's a decent storm system for all of the area here, and this one's a heavy one for all of the area. Pretty heavy one for all of the area here, decent for the area, very heavy for the area down here. And here's your mean down here, which puts a fairly good little chunk of snow onto there. But really, you even got a decent little system down here in the southern part of Kentucky here as well. Very good little system up there as well. So really what you've got is this one right there and that one right there are about the only two that are really giving us about a dusting. Everything else is accumulating snow for this. So all that to say, there is some very good support in the ensembles for what could be a snowstorm next week. Now we got to talk about this, and we got to qualify this, because you say, are you predicting snow? Not yet. I am showing you that there is the potential for snow. As you know, things can change as we go over time. So the last video that I recorded 3 days ago or so, something to this effect, was showing a reasonable chance for snow, and then the past 2 days it's dropped off the GFS pretty much entirely. Now it's back onto it again. So, but again, that's common for the GFS, especially with systems this far out. Remember, one of its problems that it's always struggled with is getting into the medium range. It just does not excel well. I will say the Canadian has had it locked on in some form consistently, and so it's always been there. But the support in all of the modeling has not been there. Getting back onto here today. So we'll keep an eye on this over the coming days. This would really be our first good chance of snow, and I do think there is a reasonable chance for this. It's not a guarantee, but just looking at the purely looking at here at the numbers, the Arctic oscillation has been firmly in the positive for a while. That's given us some more of the mild air, but it is forecast to go back down into the negative. And so if you take a look at it here over the timeline, whenever this would occur, we've got this transition where it's going from the positive into the negative over here. The North Atlantic oscillation, well, the Arctic Arctic Oscillation, remember that's Canadian air available on the move to be moved down if we can get it here. Here's what we need, the two that you really need to key here. The North Atlantic Oscillation, this is blocking up by Greenland. If we can get it into the negative, we end up getting an east-based blocking, east-based negative NAO here, and what that would do for us is sort of buckle the jet stream, sort of jacks it up so that the jet stream gets backed up, and that gives a chance for that colder Canadian air from the Arctic Oscillation to sort of filter down in here. And we're starting to see that going back down into the negative at the time frame that we would have the storm arriving. And then really critical is the EPO, the East Pacific Oscillation, absolutely tanking. That's critical because a negative EPO is going to help shut off the Pacific jet stream from being quite as much of an influence. That will mean that we don't have nearly as much of the warm, milder Pacific air coming in to be able to work with. That would be a big help. And this also indicates some blocking up around the Gulf of Alaska. Well, those two could help to really buckle the jet stream enough that we could get something. So the support from the models is certainly there. Is it a guarantee? No, there's still several days until this event, but it's certainly something that's worth monitoring. Got my attention at this point. I would argue this is probably the first decently real chance that we've had in a long while. We've had a couple of other chances this season that have fizzled out and have gone to rain. Could this go to rain too? Absolutely. But right now, not looking likely because of the signals that we've got going on. If anything, we could have some trouble with this because look at the temperatures here. So what we're looking at, and just in the temperature department over the next couple of weeks, slowly warming up on the weekend. Look here at Monday and Tuesday with temperatures back up into the 60s. That is ridiculously warm for the beginning of January. That's about 20 degrees above normal. But that cold front comes through and it means business, and those temperatures literally tank. Well, look here at Thursday, Friday, Saturday at those temperatures right around the time that we are. Temperatures below freezing around the area. So that could help for, that could be some of the cold air locked in place from that blocking, from that North Atlantic Oscillation. Could be just enough to lock it in place so that we can get some snow. From there, of course, we're forecast to warm back up into the low to mid 40s after that again. We'll have to see. If we do get a good snowpack on the ground, then these could be entirely too warm. We'll just have to see at this point. Again, the chances for something are there, but we're just going to have to see. There are no guarantees. Nothing is written in stone, folks. But that's the latest data from what everything is showing here at this point. Of course, I'll be on this and keeping an eye on it over the course of the coming week, and we'll be giving you plenty more updates. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Southern Indiana Weather, and of course follow me on Twitter as well, twitter.com, and my handle is @SouthernINWX. Be sure to follow me there for plenty more information. That's it for this update, folks. I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite for SouthernIndianaWeather.com. Have a great and happy New Year, folks, and we'll see you in 2017.